Hey guys, Matt here from Pilot Practice Exams. So one of the things that you have to cope with when you're studying is the constant memory loss and also the overwhelming amount of information. Now, doesn't matter whether you do a study session yourself or whether you go and attend a class. What tends to happen is we do this wonderful study session, and a couple of minutes after we walk out of the class or the session, we're at our max level of engagement, we're at our max level of information retention. And it's a shame to throw that away. So what you want to do is find out a way to bottle that so that you can use that to teach yourself in your own learning style later. So I strongly suggest you do this, especially people who are paying a huge amount for ground sessions, but people self-studying, this is a great idea too. So this is using Evernote on an iPad. You could use it on your phone as well, and there's also a computer version. And it's a little bit better than like Apple and Google Notes in that it allows you to intermingle these sound recordings and pictures and videos and other things into your notes. And I particularly love the sound recording one because they don't take up a lot of data, but they can be power-packed and you can record and make them very, very quickly. So what I suggest you do is you're going to need some organizational structure, how you have your notes, so into categories and things like that. And then these notes here need to clearly stipulate what they are so that you can later search for these. So you need to use words like angle of attack, lift and drag, so that you can search for these later. Or you might want to use your own little hashtag system, whatever you come up with, but you need a way that like a month later when you've forgotten this, or 2 weeks later when you've forgotten this, and you go, hey, I remember we had that really good lesson on angle of attack and I made some notes, I want to go and listen to that. So you've got to have something there so you can find it. Now, the beautiful thing I love about these new note systems on the iPad and phone is you can press the microphone. So I actually wrote that by pressing the microphone and just saying it. And then what I did was I pressed the little plus button down, where are we? Sorry. I pressed the little microphone button down here, and that launches, that launches this, and you can speak to it. Okay? Now, if you want to actually create one of those little audio notes like this one here, you actually have to press that, and then you get options of video, audio, pictures, all that sort of stuff. So, guys, this is honestly, it's a super powerful thing that you should do at the end of each lesson. We all know that our flight instructors, after each flight, they take us in and they review the flight. And so what they're doing there is they're reinforcing what we did right, and then they're discussing what we did wrong and how to fix that. And that, just like the introduction at the start of a lesson, that wrapping up at the end is incredibly powerful. But it's going to be even more powerful if you make these notes, and even after you've had an evaluation with your instructor, even after you've had an evaluation session, perhaps in a group or whatever, if you, after every study session and after every flight, you come out and you make a note like this and you review this, and you don't want to ramble and rave on. You don't want that to be a 15-minute recording. If you can say everything that needs to be said in 2 minutes, okay? Because when it comes back to watching it, you want to be able to watch it fairly efficiently. So just keep it to the absolute key points, and absolutely definitely try and include any aha moments in there. So if you were sitting in the lesson and you've been struggling, for example, with angle of attack and the aircraft speed, or density height, or something like that, and the instructor finally explains it in a way that you get it, or you're self-studying and you finally read something and you go, oh my God, I get it now, right? That's the perfect time to go tools down and go and make one of these notes, okay? And just go, hey, I finally get how to do lift and drag, right? This is what you have to remember, da-da-da-da-da-da, and it's got the diagram on page 47 of Rob Avery's book, or page 56 of Tate's book. Go to paragraph 3, and here's the key point. Boom, 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 boom. And leave it at that. And then what happens is when you know, in 2 weeks' time, 3 weeks' time, or even in 6 months' time, when you start to go, oh man, I forget how to do such and such, where is it? And you search and you find it, and you flick through these couple of audios, and then you get this really good explanation in exactly the way that your mind understands. Not only are you going to go, oh, that's right, I remember that, but if you don't, if it's been a little bit too long and you don't, you've now got the exact location of where that information is, the exact explanation from yourself in the way your brain works. Okay, so guys, get onto this. Use Evernote. You can use Notes if you want, but if you use Apple Notes, I don't know about Google Notes because I've got an Apple phone and an iPad, but if you use Notes, it doesn't have this feature. Yes, you can voice record this, but it ends up all being text. So that's still an efficient way of doing it, but I like Evernote because you can intermingle text with these other files and just make it a much more feature-rich thing to do. And I really like the fact that if you voice explain it to yourself, then you're going to have it in the exact thought patterns that your brain has stored it in, and the exact description that made sense to you.